wrestling.
Hey everyone, welcome to the We Like Wrestling podcast. I'm here with the whole gang. Justin.
Hey.
Joe.
Yo.
John.
What's up?
We're going to start a new thing here. You have a...
Are we going to kick off with a fun fact? Or
Let's
do that every
start
show?
that every show. Yep.
Okay.
So-
Macho Man Randy Savage has only lost a world title to two people. Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan.
In WWE?
Nope. Between WWE and WCW. He's only lost the title to Hogan or Flair.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true if you think about it now.
I looked it up to make sure that it was a real fact. If I see them, I want to look it up first before I say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just going to go.
So he lost to Hogan at 5. WrestleMania 5, he lost to Hogan.
Yeah.
And then when Flair was at WrestleMania 7.
Yep.
And I don't know about WCW.
Hogan and Flair. Yeah.
I don't know
was
what.
that like a Halloween habit,
Yeah.
I think?
Yeah. So, all of his title runs came around Hulk Hogan. They all had something to do with Hogan.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the last, technically, I mean, you can stretch it to say Hogan was part of it because he wrestled Flair at that Mania to win the belt after Flair won it in the Royal Rumble that, Hogan did the whole pulled out Sid thing and,
That set up Flair.
and then they did that
champ.
press conference where who was going to be the person to face Flair. So it still involved Hogan.
Yeah. And then what was that?
Fucking cunt.
The Macho Man won that 60 man.
And Hogan
cried, I was
complained,
pulled out under the ropes.
I was under the
ropes.
ropes. I was under the giant, the big man pulled me under.
Instead of Macho getting to celebrate,
Mhm.
everyone's focused on Hogan crying.
And
Cool.
two of them were dropped to Hogan the night after winning.
Wow.
So he'd win it on a pay-per-view and drop it to Hogan on Nitro. Win it on a pay-per-view, drop it to Hogan the next night on Nitro. Yeah.
Cool.
It sucks that Macho Man's career has to run parallel to his.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think most people don't I don't want to say associate, but they can separate the two. But it just sucks that so much Savage probably doesn't have a career if it wasn't for Hogan, and that sucks. He probably would have been just an Intercontinental Champion if it wasn't for feuding with Hogan. That's terrible because the guy's way too good. But again,
nobody
in that
really
era,
everyone says Austin Rock. No one says Hogan Savage. It's like you said, they sort of have enough of their own careers that they're not linked forever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but even guys like that, Rock and Austin, at least did separate things. Macho Man just kept seeming to circle back.
yeah, they were either friends or enemies. So they were always.
Foley Triple H.
Yeah. Undertaker Foley. We've talked about this. Foley has a lot
Everybody.
of people have Foley.
It's like 6 degrees of separation with Foley.
Shawn,
You can connect to every wrestler.
one of Shawn Michaels' best matches. Undertaker, Triple H, Austin, Rock, the big staples of that era, all have Foley to thank. So
So if you look up front here, I have Kenny Omega with the Outbreak title. But more importantly, we have an NWA title belt here. That's going to go with our topic today.
if you're not watching, then fuck you, I guess.
Yeah.
You can't give visual cues on an audio platform.
So yeah, we have this NWA title. What era?
That is the 85 belt, I
Okay.
believe.
So that's Flair.
Yeah, that's way before what we're about to talk about. We're talking about strictly NWA, TNA, into Impact Wrestling.
Yes.
The lineage of their world title, which is going to have some twists and turns along the way, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just sort of piggybacked off of our discussion about black wrestlers.
Yeah.
And we were like, do they only have Moose as our only black world champ? So we had a brief discussion about world champs. Maybe you had it on your phone. So I thought we can go like a deeper dive into that.
It's from when the territory days of the title.
Yeah.
I don't know how deep into the woods you want to get. If you just want
Why? What do you got?
I mean, I have dates, the
You
pay-per-view,
can say whatever you want.
how long he had it,
Sure.
who he lost it to. Like, I don't know how far you want to go. You just want to
Let's go with it.
hit highlights. So the first recognized
NWA,
Well,
TNA.
before I guess we should explain NWA, TNA linked up with NWA. You probably know better than me, Justin.
They bought in. They
And-
tried to revive the NWA. That was a dead brand at that point.
Yeah,
And that was what, 2002?
2002.
Yeah.
Well, because the NWA had become WCW back in the day, right?
Well, the NWA, not really. Jim
Or
Crockett
morphed
promotion.
into it, kind of, sort
Jim
of.
Crockett promotion was the last
NWA.
heartbeat of the NWA.
Then
Right.
Turner bought it.
Then Turner bought Jim Crockett, and they just kind of inherited the NWA title with it. And they stopped calling it that. They started just calling it the World Championship, which is big gold. The NWA belt was never defended on a Ted Turner program.
Right. Yeah. That's
Let's just
how I
put it
just,
that
But they used to NWA used to wrestle on a show called World Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
That was the name of the program.
Right. Yeah.
And then Turner called his company that.
And so that's what I mean. Like, so it just morphed into
Because
WCW.
NWA back then had all these strict rules about
Mhm.
title changes had to be voted on by a board.
Yep. Yeah.
And like your guy had to be in certain territories a certain amount of days a year. It was so a lot of companies didn't want to deal with that.
champ and all that.
Sort of like Vince Sr. That's why he branched off. He didn't want to deal with all that.
And you had a lot of there was Vince gets a lot of that too, though. But you had Mid Atlantic, you had WCCW. Like there was a lot of guys that were like, okay, yeah, Kerry Von Erich was in Texas, but yeah, he would wrestle the NWA champion, but they had their own belt anyway. They didn't need the NWA champion there.
But I think in the territory days, the NWA championship was
Yeah, I think
the
he was
Flair,
prestige belt.
Flair lost to Kerry in Texas.
Mhm.
And then, you know,
Dropped
I
it right
guess
back.
just a week later he
just give
lost it.
Yeah, just give it right back.
And then
Oh, yeah.
Flair goes back home and Kerry gets to
Yeah.
say I'm a
That's like-
former champ. Yeah.
Flair, I think, lost it overseas in like Taiwan or something like that.
Antonio
It
Inoki.
was never
Yeah.
it was never recognized.
Yeah.
And there was a period where they didn't have this belt. They had the big gold, right? What was that?
Well, there wasn't a period. That was once they changed over to Jim
Once
Crockett.
Turner
I mean,
got away from NWA.
to WCW from Jim Crockett.
Because that's
Big
when
gold, I believe, was Flair. Flair's belt
Yeah.
in '88.
and it didn't have any brand on it. It just
Flair
said
took that with him
Wrestling
to
World
WWE.
Champion.
Yes,
And that was what, like 90 or 91?
right. But when he won, when the
When
first
he
time he
originally
won
won it, yes, I think it
was
was 88.
'88, was when the big gold became the NWA belt. They moved away from the big globe.
And then when did the globe come back?
Well, technically, it never left. They left. They left the NWA.
Yeah. But I
Yeah,
think,
technically
he means
the
like this
title-
belt is retired. They don't use this belt anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who the last one was.
Well, I mean, it still carries the same lineage. So right now, it's Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
The NWA was a complex thing. It's why when we were discussing and you guys talked about wanting to do territories, it's a very, very spider-like glass breaking.
Well,
and going
I
off of
think what
every-
happened was the NWA, when it morphed kind of sort of into WCW, the NWA still existed, but it became
Yeah.
more like a territory, kind of like
Well, the
our
territories
local like
died.
outbreak. You know,
Yeah.
it just covers a certain area.
Yeah, I've been doing,
but it still had the name of
a
NWA.
an NWA show.
Yeah. Well, there used to be
Northeast.
one on our
Yeah,
a local
Northeast.
thing. It was like NWA Wildside. There was
Yeah.
like several spin-offs of the NWA. If you
Well,
look it
NWA
up.
Wildside is where TNA got a lot of their talent. So
Oh,
there was a
yeah,
lot of
I
guys
didn't know
working for
that.
TNA Wildside before. I mean, NWA Wildside.
I mean, you have to
Before
keep,
they became-
remember, like Shane Douglas had won the
Threw down
NWA
the
belt,
belt.
threw it down and said, I'm going to keep the
Because
Easter.
it meant nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So technically that belt,
is the NWA title. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's, there's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff.
it's a weird thing.
So
with
when
the
TNA
lineage of that
became
belt.
when TNA became a thing, they started weekly pay-per-views every Wednesday night. And they had a battle royal to crown their first champion. A lot of stars, past stars, kind of like how you see it at AEW today. Not trying to draw comparisons, just saying. They banked off of names.
Yeah, and the pay-per-views were like $10 or
Yeah,
something like that.
But
It was
again,
very
if you're asking
affordable.
somebody to pay for something every week, you have to bring in big names. You have to make guys go, "Oh, I remember that person. Let's see what they're up to." And a lot of them were bloated and on drugs. Unfortunately, that's why they were let go in the first place.
Like Macho.
Well, I was thinking more like Brian Christopher, but he looked terrible in TNA. seeing guys that you really liked in WWE become the Cantino. Not this isn't TNA, but when like Cantino went to WCW, that was sad to see. He looked terrible.
So on May 28th, 2002, the current NWA champ, Dan Severn, was stripped of the belt after refusing to make a defense on the first episode of Total Nonstop Action.
Does it say why?
No.
He just didn't
Stripped the
care.
title after refusing to make a defense of the championship at the inaugural NWA Total Nonstop Action pay-per-view.
So he didn't want to show up. So
Now,
instead
if
they
that's
gave it-
legit or if that's wrestling storyline, I don't know.
So they gave it to a guy who
Was it in a rivalry with Severn?
Yeah, supposedly hated.
Well, they just gave it to somebody.
No, I will. I mean, it's fucking work.
Well, yeah.
Yes, every title is just given to someone.
Well, no, but like,
I don't know if you know this, but they
It's
don't
a
really
prop.
win belts. It's given to them.
so who won the NWA belt then on that first episode? Or
Ken
Shut the
Shamrock.
fuck up. We're getting there.
June 19th, 2002, at the NWA TNA Weekly Pay-Per-View #1. Says in June 2002, Jeff and Jerry Jarrett formed NWA Total Nonstop Action and worked out a licensing deal with
After our fishing
NWA
trip. That's how the story goes. and
to
it's how Jeff
control
tells it.
and feature the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship and the NWA World Tag Team Championship as their champions.
Hmm.
Ken Shamrock defeated Malice to win the title. I don't know who the hell
Well,
that is.
I don't think he defeated Malice. It was a battle royal.
Oh, that's what it says here.
That was probably just the last person. He was part of the new church.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
It was a throwaway. It was a James Mitchell demon gimmick.
It was-
You know, evil
Oh.
guys.
So it was like Abyss before Abyss.
Yeah, I do think so. Disciples of the New Church. They feuded with America's Most Wanted a lot. Kind of the only tag teams.
Does
Was-
it say how long Severn had the belt?
Was it Malice? Malice was the Wall, wasn't he?
Might have been.
I think Malice was Wall or the Wall or whatever the fuck it was
He
called.
was.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, what was it, in 95, 96? Remember Severn came in with Cornette and stuff, and they said, oh, the NWA champion and stuff.
Mm.
And they did that whole, like, they were supposed to be coming in. Like,
Yeah, he was the NWA champion then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
He,
here it is in 2000.
He died in 2003.
Who? Wall?
The Wall.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He also does The Wall and Sergeant AWOL in WCW, and
Yeah.
then he was Malice.
So
You
there
know why he
go.
was
So-
called the Wall, right? Because he was, God damn it, he was a tag team with Alex Wright, who was at the time going by the name Berlin.
oh, God.
Berlin and
Wall.
the Wall.
Hmm.
He's from New Jersey.
He was from New Jersey.
He was from New Jersey.
Is that where he's buried?
No, he died in Japan, so who knows?
That doesn't mean they didn't fly him.
Shamrock had the belt for 49 days, lost it to Ron Killings, R-Truth,
Get rowdy. Gonna move some
on
things.
pay-per-view #8.
That was they were called just pay-per-view #8. Yeah.
Weekly pay-per-view #8 is what it's called.
Yeah, that's what
They didn't
were.
have names. I think they were only, an hour long?
No, I think they were longer than that. I mean, I don't know. I was a kid when I was watching. I was like 12 or 13, but I mean,
I think they were probably
I
would be
feel
at
like they
least
were
2
longer.
hours.
And
I would think.
there's a lot. You could see they were trying to spike the numbers. This belt changed hands a lot on these weekly ones.
well, also though, I don't think they had contracts at that point. I feel like Jeff talked about this either on his podcast or something before that they didn't have contracts. So a lot of times, if say Killings was like, "Hey, I'm going back to WWE," okay, well, we gotta fucking take the belt off him then.
Or like to say, I'm going up north. That's what they call
Yeah.
it. North.
Or if I'll give you 8 shows and it's a handshake thing, and you get to show #8, and Shamrock's like, well, I don't think I'm gonna stick around, then we gotta take the belt off you.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Ron Killings had it for 105 days. He lost it to a name you're going to hear a lot, Jeff Jarrett,
course.
who had it for 203 days.
Who's the only double MA to tap out 12-year-olds. We'll get there.
He lost it to AJ Styles.
Oh
in a-
yeah,
in a three-way with Raven.
This was AJ's big coming out party.
Yeah.
When When did they get away from NWA?
We'll get there. That's in like 2006.
Is
Yeah,
AJ still like? Is that NWA?
Yeah.
AJ? Yeah,
This
AJ's
is-
NWA.
yeah.
Because I know Kurt was NWA, but that was when they were TNA.
AJ
We'll
is
get
technically
there.
the
So-
fourth
Yeah.
NWA TNA,
TNA.
world champ.
Well, because at this time it's considered NWA TNA.
We're still in
not
2002,
separately
buddy.
TNA.
Well, AJ won it in June 2003.
Okay.
So we're getting there.
Hmm.
And he lost it to Jeff Jarrett. October 2003. Jeff Jarrett lost it to AJ, April of 2004,
Hmm.
in a cage match. AJ lost it to Ron Killings. That's his second.
Hmm.
Wow.
And he was the first black NWA, right?
I believe so, yes.
I think that's what we. Yeah.
It was a four-way match also involving Chris Harris and Raven.
Oh,
That's a
Chris Harris was a
that's a
single star at this point?
random foursome.
I feel like
AJ, Ron
Storm would have had to
Killings,
have been
Chris Harris,
hurt.
and Raven. What a weird.
Storm probably was hurt. I gotta believe Storm was hurt. They were a really over tag team, and this is way before the breakup.
And you got to
so-
remember that it's before it's really formed again. Like you said, like, how many guys do they have? Like, okay, well, we got 10 guys left. All right.
Yeah.
Ron Killings had it for 14 days
Hmm.
and lost it to Jeff Jarrett
2 weeks.
in a King of the Mountain match, which
Yeah.
involved AJ,
Jeff
Chris
Jarrett
Harris,
is the king of the mountain.
Raven, Ron Killings.
That's when you had to climb the ladder and put it on.
It's a reverse.
Just to
and
take
there was
it.
also like a hockey. Is that the one that had like the hockey penalty,
Penalty
box?
box.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got pinned, you were in there for 2
Yeah.
minutes. Or what is
So
it?
you had to take the belt,
It's a reverse ladder match.
climb up, put it on. Oh, cool! I
Oh,
won,
no.
and then take it off.
Yeah.
Oh,
what a
no.
dumb-
What
the
you had to do
fuck?
was you had to get a pin.
You had to
then
pin
you
somebody.
To
qualified
qualify,
that
yeah.
you could hang the belt up and then
Yeah.
take it down.
Who came up with these?
Probably Jeff Jarrett.
Vince
and
Russo.
his-
Wouldn't you
or his
just-
daddy.
Why would
Well,
you just
you
hire,
know.
hire some big dude to take the belt and hold it the entire time until you get a pin, and then just have him hand it to you? You can't get disqualified.
I feel like Jeff Jarrett was what Shane McMahon was trying to be.
Look, Jeff Jarrett gets a lot of shit, but I mean, who can you trust right now? This is my company, and people fucking hated Jarrett, so he's an over heel.
Mhm.
And he was probably the biggest name in the company at the time.
Of course, who else was part of the clique, part of the NWO, part of DX? If you listen to him, part of the Four Horsemen, part of the Bullet Club.
But it's funny though too, because in past things you've heard from Jeff Jarrett, like he used to bitch about that, like, oh, because the guy's a company guy or whatever, they put the belt on. He did the same shit when it was your company. Well, I guess nobody else could be trusted to be the champ but me.
So Ron Killings defeated Jeff Jarrett on the June 23rd weekly pay-per-view for the title. But due to issues surrounding the title change, the belt was held up before Vince Russo gave it back to Jarrett.
Well, that's because that's his
Very
boy.
WCW like.
Yeah. And then this one is convoluted, so I'm hoping maybe you guys can explain it better. I'm going to
Okay.
try my best. On April 3rd, 2005, Ray Gonzalez
I don't know who that is.
beat Jeff Jarrett in San Juan, Puerto Rico
Okay.
for the belt.
Okay.
Says Gonzalez was stripped of the title later in the evening due to the fall having been counted by the wrong referee. This reign was initially ignored by the NWA and TNA, with Jarrett continuing to be recognized as the world champion. Gonzalez was retroactively recognized by the NWA beginning February 16, 2015.
I have no idea.
So like we said, it's one of those where they must have
I've never heard anything about this.
toured Puerto Rico, dropped the belt. Hey, we're heading out of Puerto Rico. Give me my belt
I've never
back.
even heard of this guy though.
Yeah, he doesn't look familiar to me.
Again,
No idea.
if he drops it to like Ricky Banderas, then okay, that guy has gone on to be a major megastar. But this guy I've never heard of.
Unless maybe he's just a mega star there in Puerto Rico, their biggest star. So, put the belt on him for a night or two. And
It sounds like it was one of those where, hey, you won the belt, but give it back because we're going
Yeah.
home.
Because it says right here, like April 3rd, 2005, Ray Gonzalez wins. April 3rd, 2005, Jeff Jarrett wins. Same pay-per-view. Everything's the same.
Yeah.
And it says that the title being returned to Jarrett, they could recognize Jarrett's reign as one long, continuous reign, no interruption.
Yeah.
Years later, they recognized this guy's having it for like less than an hour or whatever it was.
I don't know.
Like you
Unless
said
it
with
was-
Antonio Inoki, that never happened, but
Yeah.
it did happen, kind of.
Unless it was one of those things where Ray won and then Jarrett rematch, roll up.
No,
we
they
probably
just- they just
maybe
turned-
said like, "Hey Ray, we're going back to America. Can you come with us?" And no. Well, then I gotta take the belt. Like, because now it's a weekly pay per view.
Yeah,
Fans aren't going to order it, and the champ's in Puerto Rico.
yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, by the way it sounds, this is like that typical like bullshit, like where the wrong rep or some count it, and then they say, okay, well, at the next pay per view or the next Raw,
I was gonna say
maybe,
they could.
maybe
have-
that's what it was. Like he was going to win, but couldn't get out of Puerto Rico. So like, well, then we can't leave the belt here.
Yeah,
and maybe they were gonna work to a return match, just never happened.
maybe. But AJ won it back. That's his third.
I didn't realize AJ had it that many times.
He
Yeah,
beat Jeff Jarrett in a match. Tito Ortiz was a special guest referee.
I remember this.
Raven got it off AJ.
Yeah, they had
That's
a nice
Slammiversary. So now we're
Now
getting actual
calling the
pay-per-views.
Pay-per-views names.
It was a King of the Mountain match involving Abyss, Monty Brown, and Sean Waltman.
Hmm.
That's another weird foursome. Although I did like Monty Brown. We talked about him before.
Yeah,
I liked
yeah.
Monty Brown. Then Jeff Jarrett won it back. That's his fourth. Rhino beat Jeff Jarrett.
I didn't know Rhino held it.
Rhino won the right to face Jeff Jarrett in a gauntlet for the gold match. I don't remember what that is.
I don't.
After designated challenger Kevin Nash fell ill.
Taurus quad.
Walking across the ring. Yeah. Rhino had it for 2 days.
Hmm.
Lost it to, you want to guess?
So the pay per view
Jeff
is on
Jarrett.
Saturday. No,
Lost it to Jeff Jarrett. That was his fifth reign.
So, what was the thinking behind Jarrett losing it just to get it back?
Ric Flair.
yeah,
Is he trying to break the record? I don't know what he was up
I
to.
don't know.
He never had it in WWE, but in WCW he was like a 3-time champ or
Something
something.
like that.
Because him and Russo were buddies.
Yeah,
Jarrett lost it to, in 2006, Christian Cage.
That's when we're starting to get.
yes.
So that was against all odds. So now we're up to.
I still go down and say that I get that Kurt Angle was a big star to bring in. I think Christian Cage was the one that made people go, "Oh shit, what's going on over here?"
So I think at this point, aren't they just TNA? They're
They
not
might be
still
just
NWA
TNA. They're
TNA,
still-
are they?
I
Yeah.
think
We're getting close.
Going off that, that's how
Yeah, it's-
I remember hearing about TNA because of Christian
Yeah.
when and all that going over there.
Christian lost it to
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett for his sixth. Jarrett lost it to Sting.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say Sting wins it somewhere in here.
That's 2006 at Bound for Glory. So again, we're hitting TNA pay-per-views. Kurt Angle was a special outside enforcer. It was a title versus career match where Sting put his career on the line. So of course he won.
And now there's going to be a triple threat with
Sting
Kurt.
lost it to Abyss.
Oh,
Abyss won by disqualification after Sting pushed the ref.
Hmm.
That must have been a stipulation, I'm guessing.
So-
yes.
NWA terminated its agreement with TNA in 2007.
Right, we're getting there. You're
Yeah.
just jumping ahead. We're still in 2006.
Abyss lost it to Christian Cage January 14th, 2007. And a three-way also involving Sting. And it says here on May 13th, 2007, Christian was stripped of the belt when the NWA ended its agreement with TNA. So I don't know. I mean, did Christian just show up on TV and go here? Or did
I
he
don't
just-
remember. I don't know how they did it.
I wasn't watching it. Then I don't remember.
And then was it Kurt?
And then for the NWA, but it goes on.
It's still called the NWA at this point, but they
Yes.
are no longer affiliated with the NWA.
Yes. So the NWA kept going.
But it looks like it's not using this belt anymore. They're using what will become the classic TNA belt at this point.
Because Kurt had both belts, right? Or did
I don't know. I don't think so.
I remember seeing two?
I mean,
belts.
after they strip it from Christian, Adam Pearce is the next NWA champion
Yeah.
in 2007.
Wow.
Who has held it quite a few times.
He defeated Brent Albright in the finals of the tournament. Pierce was a substitute for Brian Danielson,
Hmm.
who was injured with a detached retina.
Can you imagine if he won the NWA title?
Brian.
Remember Brent Albright was in
Brent Albright was a really big dude.
Gunnar
right?
Scott in WWE for
Yeah.
like a month and then gone.
Who went? I don't.
Brent Albright was in WWE as Gunnar Scott.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was like a Chris Benoit, short
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, I just know his New Japan and NWA stuff.
But yeah, Adam Pearce had it like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, and that's what a year ago when Adam Pearce was doing that stuff on TV with whatever Baron Corbin or Happy Corbin or Sad Corbin, whoever he was working with.
Nobody cares, Corbin.
But like everybody was like, "Why is this guy?" Adam Pearce is legit.
Yeah, no,
Do your
I
fucking
know he
research. Adam Pearce can go.
So May 13th, 2007, Kurt Angle is the first ever TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Technically the last NWA in NWA TNA history.
Angle defeated then NWA World Champion Christian Cage, and Sting in a three-way match, become the inaugural champion after NWA's executive director, whoever that guy's name is, stripped Christian Cage of the title and ended NWA's relationship with TNA.
Yeah. So they pretty much just said, okay, well, we still have the belt, so we're going to make it, we're going to defend it on TV, but we won't call it that anymore.
So Christian technically was still the NWA champ.
Yes.
They just didn't
he was
call
the
him
NWA TNA champ.
Yeah. So then after that, Kurt's the first ever
TNA.
It's somewhat like
So now we're going to
AEW did. You have Kurt Angle as their first champ. You have this big name Jericho come in as their first champ. And Christian and Angle and Booker T, that's what drew me to TNA.
The difference is when Kurt Angle came in, he put over Samoa Joe right away.
Yeah.
And Kurt was still somewhat prime. AEW Jericho is 50 years old. And
TNA Kurt is like drugs. I think getting over drugs. So I wouldn't say prime.
Percocet.
That's what he didn't want to go to rehab, right? That's why WWE let him go.
Yeah, Percocet was his drug of choice.
So the very next day, May 14th, Kurt Angle was stripped of the belt due to a double fall result of the three-way match at Sacrifice. That doesn't even make sense when I say it.
The two people
Say that again?
Angle was stripped of the championship due to a double fall result of the three-way match.
What?
Two? That doesn't even...
Two people pinning.
Okay, but it says fall, not submission. I was going to say
at Sacrifice.
Almost like one person has a crossface, one person has an ankle lock, and
both guys tapped at the same time.
One guy tapped, and who gave the submission? But they said fall, so
yeah,
I don't know.
So it might have been one of those
Kurt, Christian, and Sting. So
no, it might have been one of those things like Kurt did a back suplex with a German, and his shoulders were down too. They counted both guys' shoulders were down. That's a double fall.
That's
the only thing I can think of.
That's a weird wording.
I don't know. It's 2007, so I was watching, but I don't know that I remember.
The bollocks is starting here.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing in passing, one guy would always roll his shoulder, and you're like, okay.
That was May 14th. So on June 17th, so a month later, Kurt gets it back. So there was no champ for a whole month. Angle defeated AJ Styles, Chris Harris.
Month, though, of weekly TV. This isn't paying again. This is now we're on Spike. So
yeah,
not having a champ on TV isn't a big deal.
And that's probably every week coming out arguing oh no, I won.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out, oh no, I won, and
yeah, I can't.
The fourth weekend they come out. Okay, we're going to do this.
All right, so let me try. I'm going to read what this convoluted
oh boy
thing here says. So like I said, this is June 17, 2007, Slammiversary. Kurt Angle beat AJ Styles, Chris Harris. Well, he was at a lot of these title matches.
Well, this is Chris Harris now broken
Wildcat.
Away. Yes, he was Wildcat before. Yeah. But this is broken away after Storm hit him with the glass bottle and took out his eye, and they had that terrible hood match where the hood kept falling off because they literally just made it out of a bag. Yeah.
I just remember him from his awful WWE run.
Yeah, he's not there yet.
Braden Walker.
Yeah, he hasn't left yet.
AJ Styles, Chris Harris, Christian Cage, and Samoa Joe in a King of the Mountain match to win the vacant championship.
Why did I think there was more people in King of the Mountain?
Yeah,
matches?
so did I.
I thought these were 10-man matches.
So did I. Well, here's where it gets
messed
after
up.
The event, Kurt Angle's reign and the vacancy were no longer recognized, and thus is viewed to be the start of the TNA title.
I don't know what that means.
TNA counted Angle's previous reign to his credit without explaining why, giving loose recognition.
Sounds like just
who
weird.
Writes this stuff?
Yeah, it just seems like weird.
So at this point, Kurt's a two-time champ, but they're saying no, this is his first. The other one didn't count.
Just a weird semantics.
Unless they're saying because it was technically the NWA TNA that he won.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Fuck it.
Is this
Wow.
still Russo?
Yeah, Russo is here.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ.
So Sting wins it. October 2007. 2 days later, Kurt Angle wins it back. Samoa Joe wins it.
So wins it on a Sunday, loses it on a Tuesday. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. But it didn't get aired on TV until October 25th.
Oh.
So it looks like he had it for 11 days, but he really had it for 2. And Samoa Joe wins it. Sting wins
Samoa
it.
Joe,
Sting,
fat.
Sting wins it off Samoa Joe.
I can't. I don't know. Every time I hear somebody say, because I always say Joe. So when I hear somebody say Samoa Joe, all I think of Samoa Joe. You're fat.
And you got a 33 to 30% chance though. So he won it in a 6 sides of steel match. But
It's just a
didn't
cage
say
match.
who else was in it.
It's just a cage match.
Sting won.
There doesn't have to be anybody else in it.
Oh yeah.
6 sided steel could be. That's just what they called their cage matches.
Wow. When I think
Yeah,
of Lockdown, I always think of that one where it's like multi-man, like 4-on-4. Like Jared had a squad and they had, what was that, Lockdown?
Lethal Lockdown was
Oh,
a cage
yeah,
with
yeah,
weapons.
the weapons, yeah.
That's a one-on-one. Well, not one-on-one, but that's a multi-man match.
Yeah, that's sort of like a war. Their war games, kind of, isn't it? Teams, or is it just every man
I
for
guess
himself?
it's their war games.
Yeah, I can't remember.
When there would be like weapons hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, it would lower.
because a cage isn't enough. You had to do something else.
And then
with
it
it,
had a
like
hole.
electrify it.
Then it had a hole in the center. Was how you get
Yeah.
out of it.
Was that red cage where it was like a cage and then a dome with a hole?
Yeah.
Was that
the one
Lethal Lockdown?
is that the one
or-
that Jeff Hardy crawled through when he first showed up? Didn't he crawl through
Yeah.
like a domed cage?
Could be. Foley got it off of Sting. April 19th, 2009 in Philadelphia. I was there live. Me and Wes. Kurt Angle got it off Foley. And another King of the Mountain match with AJ Styles, Jeff Jarrett, and Samoa Joe. I haven't heard Jeff Jarrett's name in a while.
Maybe this is when he had to go away for a little while.
AJ got it off Kurt.
This is Dixie, isn't it?
What year are we in?
This is 2009.
Well, yeah, Dixie was there. the
She just
moment
wasn't
they-
on screen till
Dixie, once they got on, Panda Energy was there from TNA.
But
Once they got on Spike.
her parents
But-
owned it. She
but
just-
Jeff owned it originally, didn't he? And
That
then
was-
they bought it from him.
Yes.
Or so this might be
Because they needed money.
when
they
they
were not
bought it.
doing well. Yeah,
When Dixie bought it, and then
Dixie never bought it. Dixie did not own ever.
her
TNA.
parents owned it.
well, yeah,
Panda Energy, her dad owned it. She never owned it.
Yeah, and he just let her run it. And she had not a
so
clue about
that's
wrestling.
probably why you haven't heard Jeff in a while.
That's true.
Oh, she loved Jeff.
And Christian.
Yeah.
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 Hey, it worked out well.
It didn't.
AJ beat Kurt Angle. Now this is listed as his first reign, even though AJ I've said like 3 times already.
Yeah.
2009.
TNA.
That was heel, right?
I don't know.
It was a 4-way match involving Kurt Angle, Sting, and Matt Morgan.
Was that after the
Another
Flair
guy I
thing?
liked.
No.
Because after the
No.
Flair thing was
No.
heel, like
Hogan
Bullet
and
Club.
Flair are not here yet.
Yeah, they
Then-
ain't coming
okay.
until 2000.
RVD beats AJ Styles in 2010.
Hmm.
And then in August 10th, 2010, the belt is held up because RVD suffers an injury.
Okay.
Probably got put in jail again.
No.
It's a storyline injury. So,
Hmm.
so October 10th, 2010, Jeff Hardy wins the belt.
So this is now they
This
are
is-
here. This is
yeah.
Hogan era. This is Jeff Hardy gets that cool. Well, not
Belt,
really
his
cool.
custom.
Yeah. he
That
gets
where
that
Abyss
purple
is
thing.
like, they're coming. They're going to be here soon. Or
I think so.
is that Abyss that was kept doing it? Or Hardy beat Kurt Angle and Mr. Anderson in a 3-way tournament final to win the vacant title.
I like Mr. Anderson.
Per the pre-match stipulation, Angle was forced to retire.
Then main event mafia comes.
So then Mr. Anderson has it. Jeff Hardy gets it off him. Sting gets it off Jeff Hardy.
Well, that was the
sort of.
by force.
Well, no, this said have it on Impact, and that was a pay-per-view where
Oh,
Jeff
okay.
came out gone.
Hmm.
So that's Sting's third. Mr. Anderson beats Sting. Sorry, Sting beats Mr. Anderson. Kurt beats Sting. James Storm beats Kurt Angle.
Oh, really? James Storm. I didn't know that.
October 2011. He had it for 8 days.
Okay, that makes sense. Why I don't
Lost it to Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
October 26, 2011. Bobby Roode lost it to the belt collector, Austin Aries.
So yeah, that
2012.
definitely that had to be because we're way past that era
Because
already.
Aries was suicide.
That Sting thing had to be on that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It has to be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. It says Impact.
But we're way past that.
Yeah,
If
because that
Rude has the belt and Austin Aries has the belt, we're way past Jeff Hardy being blitzed out of his mind.
'Cause that
and
happened with-
Sting being forced to take it off.
that happened when Bischoff was there.
Yeah.
That was main event Mafia era.
Because it says Jeff Hardy won it. Sorry, February 13th, 2011, at Against All Odds in a ladder match with Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, and then Sting.
And then Sting won February 24th, 2011 on Impact.
I don't know.
That-
and is this from Wikipedia?
Yes,
I really wish you wouldn't use Wikipedia.
I know.
It's real. I can go in there and write anything. I
Yeah,
can
because
say,
it's fan submitted.
Yeah.
That's why.
that can't be right.
So Aries voluntarily vacated the X Division Championship in exchange for a
Because,
TNA
yes,
World Championship.
This is the
Feaster Fire or whatever they call it. No.
No,
No.
option C.
Yeah, option
No.
C. Yes.
Actually, what year are we in?
Aries won it in 2012.
Yeah.
So Jeff Hardy and Sting was at Victory Road 2011.
Yeah.
That's when he was doped out of his mind.
Yeah. Had to be. Because again, we're in a new era of TNA. When once Storm and Rude and Aries are getting it, we're away from the WWE Legends guys having it, and now we're trying to build our stars again. Even though we did it the first time with Joe and AJ and Abyss, then we let Hogan and Bischoff come in and kind of run it to the ground. Although technically Hogan and Bischoff are still there for the option C thing, because I believe he does that promo with Hogan.
So
it was
Aries,
with Hogan.
when Hogan was there, Aries was suicide. That's when he was forcing suicide to unmask, and then it was Aries.
No.
Bischoff-
He wasn't. That was just for a gimmick.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah.
that just how he won it? He wasn't allowed. Like they did almost the Dean Malenko thing, where Dean Malenko was Hollow Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Or Cyclope.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Sequel?
Yeah,
Pay.
yeah,
Oh, I thought it
Yeah.
was Hollow Wicked. Either way,
yeah.
he won a tournament or battle royal, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
To get the cruiserweight
Yeah,
title.
because Blanco couldn't get any more title shots.
Yeah, I think that was the same
Yeah.
thing with Aries. I think he won it being suicide because he wasn't allowed to challenge for it, and then he took it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
this is like
Bischoff was there because he came out
Yeah,
and said to Sting,
Yeah.
we're going to end
Yeah.
it right now.
well, that was Jeff Hardy. I'm talking about Austin Aries.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm saying you said about the era, so
Yeah.
Bischoff was there because he on camera you could hear him telling Sting.
And then this is like aces and eights. This
It's
is
about to start.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is
Jeff Hardy beats Austin Aries for it. That's
so
his third reign.
Victory Road 2011 was March.
Yeah, that's not even listed on here.
Well, it's good to forget that.
Bully Ray beats Jeff Hardy for it.
Yeah.
Chris Sabin beats Bully Ray.
and this is now Bully Ray. That's aces and
Yeah.
eights.
Yeah, because Saban is part of the people that want to destroy.
Sabin did the same
But
thing.
doesn't Saban? So Bully Ray held it for almost a year because Saban then did the same thing that Austin Aries did, was cash in
Yeah.
his X Division title, right?
Bully
Yeah.
Ray, it says, had 130 days. And then, Sabin cashed in his X Division title shot.
Mhm.
He had it for 28 days. Lost it back to Bully Ray.
Yeah, I remember being dissatisfied with Saban's run because I remember this is when I got back into TNA. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit! Like these are all the
Yeah,
guys
same
that I
here.
liked that never got
Yeah.
pushed.
I think
Rude, Austin Aries, Saban. It's like
Sabin was
shit.
like Kofi. It's like a make good. Like you've been here,
Yeah.
a good soldier. Here.
Although he was still,
Like when
I
Eric
think
Young got
Shelley
it.
is more like that though.
no, Shelly's never he's never gotten it.
Well,
Hey,
I know,
where I can
but,
get some weed.
Yeah,
but
Anyway.
no, but I think Saban was the guy in that team. Shelley was the guy that was like, he's there. He's Shelley was the Genetti.
Of that group.
Yeah.
Oh, I get what you're saying. You're misinformed.
Oh.
That wasn't Shelly. That was Bourne.
Oh.
Shelly was high when I met him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was one of your stories. Okay.
Yeah, Evan Bourne,
Pretty much the same person.
Matt Seidel.
Yeah.
That's that one.
Pretty much the same.
I wasn't near. I was doing a ring rental. I wasn't near my hometown, so I don't know where.
Bully Ray's second reign was 66 days. He lost it to AJ Styles.
That's AJ
That's-
Broody. That's Broody AJ. That's AJ's
With a hood.
Pro Sting era.
With a hood.
AJ had it for 9 days, and then
The Ace and Eights was NWO, and AJ was Sting.
Yeah. AJ was, they thought he would join.
Yeah.
And then that's when,
That's when he grew his soccer hair out, soccer mom hair.
and facial hair, I think.
Yeah.
Dixie Carter announced via Twitter that AJ Styles had been stripped of the belt due to a contract dispute.
And that contract dispute is I'm going to New Japan
Mhm.
and I'm going to have the best matches of my fucking life.
Styles continued to carry around the belt, proclaiming himself to be the real champion.
Yeah, I remember this because I remember when he eventually did go to New Japan. I was like, oh, he's gonna like go do all this stuff, and then he's gonna come back to TNA, and they're gonna have like a feud. It just never happened.
Then Magnus wins it.
Good, I liked that.
Curtis
Again, one of those
Magnus,
guys. This is the era that I really got back into
2013.
TNA.
He defeated Jeff Hardy in a tournament final to win the vacant title. It was a Dixieland match. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that.
On
And
January
this
9th.
is where I believe Rockstar Spud starts coming out with Dixie and
EC3.
EC3.
Robbie E and all that. Like,
No, I don't remember Robbie E. EC3, Magnus was like, suit and tie champion. That's Dixie's champion. That type of shit.
Maybe the Menagerie? Or was that before? Like Crazy Steve.
I don't think that's yet. Maybe.
Says AJ returned, claiming to be the real world champion, as he was never defeated for the belt. Magnus beat him later that night to become the undisputed champ.
So it was kind of like you, where I was scrolling through in like 2005, 2006, and I saw Christian, Angle, Sting, Booker. I was like, oh, cool.
Mhm.
So I watched it, and then at some point I fell off. And then when they started to become Impact with Bully Ray, and that's when I started to get
We're not
back
there yet.
into it.
We're not in Impact yet. Impact was never Bully Ray.
But this is when they went to the Forsyths.
Well, I think we are because Magnus won it at a pay per view called Impact Final Resolution.
Yeah.
Well, now, yeah, we're there now. But when Bully had it, we weren't there.
And then Eric Young beat Magnus. How the hell did that happen?
That's when Eric Young was had the big beard, and he was
Daniel Bryan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was TNA's Daniel. Okay, we need to cash in on this underdog guy.
Been here a
Because
long time.
Bryan just did it. In fact, what month is that he wins?
What year?
April 10th, 2014.
April 10th, 2014.
Right
What
around
year
Mania.
did Bryan win
Hold
Mania?
on.
Tell me that was 2014
Probably was.
in March
13,
or early
13.
April.
That was the underdog.
Yeah.
Keeps getting screwed. And Eric Young was a familiar face.
Of
Been there a
course.
long
What,
time.
what date was that?
April 10th, 2014.
April 6th.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my gosh.
It really just went, we need one of those. Hey, we got one of those. We got a guy with a beard.
Right?
Oh, and
We got an
he's
underdog.
loved by.
And
he's
you've
loved
never
by
been a world
fans.
champ, right? Oh, this writes
And
itself.
well, Bryan was a world champion.
He was.
No, I mean
yeah.
Eric Young.
Technically, yeah.
Eric Young wasn't.
No, he was never WWE champion.
Yeah.
Bryan held that stupid world title run where he lost.
Yeah.
to Shane
I mean,
Stevens.
Eric Young never had it his whole
But
time.
Eric Young
That
was
was-
never in the main event.
Yeah.
Eric Young almost was made a better underdog
Yeah.
because he literally went from "Don't fire Eric" because he literally that was real apparently.
Wow.
He really thought he was going to get fired. They were laying a bunch of people off, and he thought, "Well, I'm not on TV. I'm definitely going to get fired. So what do I do to get over? Don't fire me. Have
Yeah.
the fans cheer for me. Don't fire me."
That gimmick should have been in WWE.
Super Eric.
It was Bryan.
No, the Don't Fire Me.
It was Bryan.
If Magnus had been counted out or disqualified, he would have lost the title. If
Oh.
anyone had interfered, they would have been fired. That was when Eric Young won.
Okay.
I liked Eric Young.
Lashley beat Eric Young in Bethlehem, PA. Hey.
They did a pay-per-view there?
No, it was an Impact
Oh.
TV taping. If anyone besides MVP or Kenny King interfered, they would have been fired. I don't know why just those two are.
Because that was his group.
Or you mean if they interfere, so anyone else can interfere, but not? Why would they be allowed to interfere? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
No one's allowed to interfere.
This is when Lashley, I don't want to say started to.
He was their big signing
to
from
become
WWE.
a worker, but this is where Lashley learned most of his
Yes.
his craft now.
Bobby
And
Roode beat
it
Lashley
shows-
for it.
It shows there that that was me generation, right? That's the start of the me generation, Bobby Roode.
That was also Bethlehem. Wow, I didn't know they.
Did so many
They
tapings there.
taped a couple
Hmm.
shows there.
Yeah, that was always at the Sands.
But it shows that when Bobby Lashley came back to WWE, he brought the guys that helped him get over there with him. The Beatdown Clan, I think is what they were called.
Well, MVP.
Yeah, he didn't bring anyone else.
Kenny King is still an Impact.
Who else was with them? I thought there was another. I thought Shelton was with them.
No.
I don't know.
Well,
I wasn't watching
right-
Impact at this point.
Right now, it's MVP Shelton, Cedric.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I thought Shelton was with them. Maybe did Kenny King leave, or was Shelton? There was more people than just them three
Yeah, you'd have to
in the
look that up.
Beatdown Clan. I can't remember.
Is it the Beatdown Clan?
I think that's what it's called, Beatdown Clan.
Yeah, no,
Kurt-
Shelton wasn't in Impact at all.
Kurt Angle beat
Oh, really?
Lashley.
That's right. Shelton was in ROH. Sorry. Yeah.
In
I'm
2015.
at that point, I'm mixing up ROH and TNA easily.
for his 6th reign.
That's right. I forgot.
So, Beatdown Clan.
But is there more? There's more members
Yeah.
than them.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
MVP, Kenny King, Lashley. And then there's Samoa Joe, Low-Key,
Oh, Loki. Yeah, I remember.
Eric Young, and LAX, Homicide Hernandez.
Oh, okay.
That's a big group.
Yeah, they were. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't just them
It's like
two.
the NWO. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
forgot.
got-
Shelton
and-
was in ROH at this point. This is
and-
when I started really getting into ROH.
And MVP was much like he was with the Hurt Business. And he wrestled occasionally, but he
Yeah.
was like mainly the mouthpiece
Yeah.
for the group.
Ethan Carter III
There we go.
beat Kurt Angle.
I like EC3.
Unfortunately, Kurt's probably on the downslope at this point.
I was just saying, 2015. I thought he was
Yeah,
gone by
he's
then. I didn't know he was
Probably
still
not
there.
having great
Well,
matches.
This might have been when he came back to the E because remember of that Shield thing.
No, that was after that.
That was like
that's
2017.
17. Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's like 17,
he also had that
18.
thing with Ronda.
Matt Hardy beat EC3.
Oh god.
This is broken.
2015.
It's got to be
Yes.
broken.
that's
Yeah.
It was a 3-way match involving Drew Galloway, Drew McIntyre. Jeff Hardy was a special guest referee. Well, no wonder Matt won.
And again, this isn't not saying that Drew needed to learn, but him going away to Evolve or wherever and going to TNA
Progress.
or
I think
Yeah.
he was in progress.
going
he might have been
to
in Evolve also.
going to Impact, that really showed that he can work. I mean, I saw him for the first time in Impact and I saw how jacked he was. I was like, Jesus Christ. And
Yes, he definitely became more of what he should have been
oh yeah.
everywhere else, which happens to a lot of guys. Bobby Lashley, it happened to. Well, before he came back to the E, what was Bobby Lashley's biggest match? Say it.
Umaga
Umaga at
where
WrestleMania.
Vince got
with-
shaved
Yes, but they had
with
no,
Trump.
no one cared that Lashley or Umaga were in that match. It had nothing to do
Yeah.
with them.
Well, and look, but even now,
It was for a U.S. title. Like,
but even now, Lashley's a 2-time champ.
Yeah.
But those runs have been shit.
In fact, Trump didn't even know his name ever. Trump said, I picked that colored guy.
I don't think Lashley had a defense.
sure he did.
I don't
Well,
think
technically,
so.
the chamber was a defense, but he didn't get to compete.
Yeah, what happened? Well, I don't care.
Concussion.
I really don't care.
I
I,
think-
really don't care. I don't even want to know. I really do not care.
Matt Hardy had it for 2 days.
Here's what I'm watching after WrestleMania. And I'm saying after WrestleMania. I'm going to see the highlights of Edge and AJ. That's all so far.
That could be match of the night if they
It's-
let him.
of course, it has to be match of the weekend.
And Lashley did have he kept it against McIntyre on like Raw or something. They had like a
I'm sure he had defenses.
So
Probably the house show circuit. He probably kept
Well,
it.
yes, but I'm talking about even on TV. He had to have. I think.
I
I think
remember
Lashley.
I remember McIntyre because remember McIntyre wrestled him, and if he lost, he didn't get any more shots.
So his most recent reign was 21 days, and he didn't have a defense other than the chamber.
But you only got to defend the belt once every 30 days.
It's true.
I think
He
both
only
times
had-
was Brock, though, wasn't it?
Oh God.
So Matt had it for 2 days, and then the belt was held up because Ethan Carter III filed a legal injunction. I wasn't watching it then, but
EC3
This-
was so good then, though.
I love
And in
EC3,
NXT.
but this is when I started to fall off of Impact.
No, I'm not. I'm not gone yet.
January 5th, 2016, again in Bethlehem, EC3 wins. He beat Matt Hardy in the finals of the TNA World Title Series,
So they just went back around.
whatever that means.
King of the Ring,
Yeah,
essentially.
Deadly Games.
He had it for 3 days. Lost it to Matt Hardy in Bethlehem.
Yes.
It was a last man standing match.
Of course it was.
Had Hardy not won, he would have left TNA. Then Drew Galloway beat Matt Hardy. Galloway invoked his Feast or Fired opportunity, challenged Matt Hardy and won. Then Lashley wins off Drew. That's his third reign.
Repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat,
I
rinse
feel
and
like
repeat.
we've seen Lashley and Drew somewhere.
Yeah.
You're going to see it again. Huh?
Yeah.
This was a knockout or tap out only match.
Okay, so Drew was probably doing that kick.
I wasn't watching it.
Claymore.
This
Yeah,
was
and
still
Bobby Lashley does the full Nelson.
I think
so-
this is still when Lashley was in Bellator as well. I think he was doing both when he was in Impact.
he was.
Yeah.
He was, yes.
So on July 13th, 2016, Lashley won the X Division Championship
Yeah,
Oh,
he
God.
held every belt
when
at
he
one
beat
point.
Eddie Edwards.
Oh God!
Yeah, he beat
And-
everybody.
On August 11th, 2016, he also won the TNA King of the Mountain
Yeah,
Championship
that was their Intercontinental title.
by defeating James Storm.
Yeah, he held every belt at one point.
And then last year retired the King of the Mountain Championship and vacated the X Division.
Good.
So he was the first belt collector.
And then I believe next is Eddie Edwards.
Yes, Eddie Edwards.
Yes, I almost said Eddie Kingston. Sorry.
And
This was when I believe I watched this pay-per-view. Is that a Bound for Glory or Slammiversary?
it just says Impact.
Oh, I thought I paid for this. I thought.
But he's considered the last TNA
Okay,
world champion.
because when I heard that Eddie Edwards was going for a title, I mean I loved Eddie Edwards. I love Davey Richards. So Davey Richards I think had either gotten injured or was done with the business at that point because he went away for a while. He's just recently come back.
Yeah, it was an injury. He had a
Yeah.
shoulder injury, and I just think
So-
he never came back.
What year is
When
this?
Eddie Edwards 16, 17?
2016, October 2016. So,
Yeah.
Impact?
Yeah.
and he was the last TNA champ.
And I liked Eddie Edwards.
Yeah.
I've liked Eddie Edwards from ROH days. I liked American Wolves.
This
I
was
bought the
when they were
DVD
like,
that he wins the ROH belt. Too.
Access TV or some bullshit.
no, they're on Access now. This was
or
when they were like
Destination America.
Pop or Destination
Yeah,
America
so-
wanted it too.
They were so good on Spike.
January 8, 2017, Lashley beats Eddie Edwards to become the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. This was a 30-minute Iron Man match on March. So he won it January 8th. On March 2nd, the championship was renamed the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship following the renaming of the promotion. Did you get all that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So he won it in January, and then he still has it in March, and they're like, well, now you're the Impact champ.
Yeah.
So we were wondering when he changed over. So that's it, I guess, March of 2017.
But what does Cody win the belt at one point here? Are we almost there?
I don't know.
Or he was global champion, which was
Global.
part of TNA.
Jarrett.
Yeah.
So, all right. Alberto El
Oh
Patron
God.
and
beats Lashley at Slammiversary.
And then does a bunch of coke and doesn't show up the next night.
beats Page.
It was a
It's Drew. It happened. It happened.
this was a unification match between the Impact and
Oh,
the
global.
Global Championship.
Okay, this is okay.
It was renamed to the Unified GFW World Heavyweight Championship. That just rolls off the tongue,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Global Force.
Which was Jared's.
He had it for
promotion.
43 days. On August 14th, he vacated the belt because he got suspended.
Who?
Alberto El Patron.
Yeah. No shit.
Wonder what he got suspended for.
So on August 17th, 2017, Eli Drake,
Yeah.
who's LA
Dummy.
Knight, won the GFW Global Championship, Impact Global Championship World Heavyweight.
Oh, is that
Okay,
one
you're
title?
right.
How does that
Yes.
fit on the belt?
It doesn't.
Does it go around the straps?
Is that
That's 2017.
that's
Yeah.
one whole title?
It was a 20-man gauntlet for the gold match.
We should bring up what the Grand Prix Championship. Do you ever hear that? Do you ever watch
Is that New
those?
Japan?
No. No, this is the
Because they have a Grand
Oh,
Prix,
no.
don't they?
Was it called Grand Slam Championship? No, Grand Prix. I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
think
sure it
it's
was called
Grand
Grand Prix. It was in TNA. Well, no, it was in Impact. And Eli might have had it, and EC3. it was rounds. They had to go rounds, and then they got judges that
Yeah,
judged.
I remember that. Yeah,
What the hell?
So
that was
dumb.
dumb. Yeah.
All right.
It was a shot. They tried something new.
I wasn't watching this at the time, so I'm hoping that you guys
I'm not watching it at this
can
point. anymore.
translate this to English for me. All right, it was a 20-man gauntlet for the gold match. Drake pinned Eddie Edwards to win the match once they were the last two wrestlers.
So it was probably
It was probably like a battle royal. or
Like
something.
two guys start, loser leaves, winner stays, next guy comes out.
that's 20
No.
guys. That would be that'd be a whole
No.
fucking show.
No, I'm saying, is that what it is?
No, it's
It
a
would have to
battle
be a
royal.
battle royal, and
Wow.
the last two
And then
guys
wrestle.
wrestle. I assume.
Gotcha.
I assume. I don't know.
I've
But if
seen
it's
that
a
before.
gauntlet match with
Yeah.
20 guys. That after one gets pinned, another comes out.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
whole
what a gauntlet
show.
is. Yeah,
That's a whole show, though.
I've seen the battle
If
royals
not
like
more.
unless they're like roll up.
That's how. And it reminds me. The first one that I remember being like that is the IC title when Sean got beat up by the Seaman. And it was like on Raw, and Ramon and
the model, the last two, and they wrestle the next
and then
week.
and then they wrestled.
The championship took the
See.
GFW Global Championship name and was attached to the TNA World Championship lineage.
Sure, just keep going.
Okay.
Nobody gives a fuck.
So
at
that's
this point.
that's Jeff saying I originally built this
Because
put
Jeff
this with
owned
it."
Global. So,
Yeah.
On September 18, 2017, the championship was renamed Impact Global Championship.
Don't worry, it's gonna get named again.
January 2018, Austin Aries becomes the first Impact World Champion.
So this is belt collector.
I can't keep track of all of
The
this.
first, but not the first.
But it's considered his second reign, but he's the first Impact because the last time he was
TNA.
TNA.
Lashley was the first Impact, was he? Or somebody?
No, this
earlier?
is his first Impact
This is considered the first Impact World Championship
because Lashley was World Impact
TNA,
Global,
Impact,
everybody.
Global,
blah, blah, blah.
everyone but WWE World Champion.
God. Oh, TNA. I wonder why we don't review that.
Let's see. During his reign, the championship. This is during Austin Aries. Sorry, pronouns, pal.
Yeah, thank you.
The championship took the Impact World Championship name. What do they
Okay.
change it every week?
Yes.
All right. This week we're called this.
Yes.
Austin Aries lost it to Pentagon Jr.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Zeno.
know he was in
Zeno.
Impact.
Yeah, he had a pretty good run.
I didn't know he had the belt.
I didn't know he had the belt. No.
April 22nd, 2018.
AEW is about to
It
start.
was a triple threat match, also
I'm
involving
sorry,
Phoenix.
What month did you say?
April 2018.
And Impact. I mean, Impact. Fuck. Dynamite
19.
Starts in
19.
what? 19?
I think so.
October?
20.
September?
No, 2020, I think.
No,
Yeah.
2020
Yeah,
was
they're only like 2 years
no.
old.
2020 was COVID. We went to Dynamite before COVID.
Yeah, so it would be like 19.
So it was 19,
19,
and
yeah,
it was in September, I believe. It was right at their first pay per
All
view.
in was September 1st, 18.
Yes, so 18.
So, yeah.
Holy shit!
and this is
No,
April
that's
18.
all in. All in is
Yeah, I know, it's ROH.
One at his house.
Yeah,
That's
but
that's yeah.
AEW would have
So
been a
AEW
year.
was a year
Okay.
after. So
Right,
September
yeah,
of
that
2019.
makes
So it's been 3 years since our first AEW.
Yeah.
Because that was like the
Wow.
4th show or something.
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like October or November. I think it was October. Yeah.
We should find this match because Pentagon won it in a triple threat with Austin Aries and Ray Phoenix.
Oh.
It was probably a hell of a match.
Huh.
He had it for 2 days.
I remember this is where I learned of Lucha Bros.
Lost it back to
Because
Austin Aries.
remember that at All In, like we were just talking about, Penta had a match against Kenny Omega.
Yeah, and then that
He
was the
did not.
Jericho.
This wasn't a tag team. Phoenix was in a match with Rey Mysterio.
It was like a
somebody else.
luchador match.
Yeah, it was 3 luchas, and it was Bucks and Kota Ibushi versus Phoenix, Mysterio, and somebody else. I can't remember who.
Yeah. Was maybe Sammy?
No, it was a lucha guy. No, Sammy wasn't there. Sammy's. Wait a minute. Didn't Sammy hold this belt at all yet?
No, I mean Sammy Guevara. Sorry.
Oh no, it wasn't Sammy Guevara.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, didn't Sammy Callahan smash anybody's face with the baseball
We're
bat
getting
yet?
there.
Okay.
That was Eddie
All
Edwards.
right, so Austin Aries gets it off Pentagon, April 24th, 2018. Here we go again. Aries,
What, Jeff Jarrett?
Aries unified
Oh.
the Impact World Championship and the Impact Grand Championship.
That's the one that the rounds.
So, again, he's got a bunch of belts.
Yeah,
Aries lost it to Johnny Impact, John Morrison.
Yeah.
Johnny Mundo.
Johnny Superstar now.
Johnny Impact lost it to Brian Cage.
Oh, okay.
And
Him
that was
and
April 28, 2019.
Jordan Grace, right? Was that?
What?
It was him and Jordan Grace had a feud or something.
Who? No.
Cage.
Lance Storm was a special guest referee. If I can be
Lance
serious
Storm.
for a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Sammy Callahan beat Brian Cage October 25th, 2019
Oh, it was Sammy and
in
Jordan.
a steel cage match.
Sammy wrestled Tessa.
Tessa Blanchard.
Okay.
Tessa Blanchard beat Sammy Callahan January of 2020.
Oh, so Eddie wasn't champion when he got his face smashed in? Eddie Edwards.
Mm,
I thought that was for the belt.
I
no.
don't know.
When
that
Callahan
happened before.
accidentally smashed his face.
Tessa
in.
Blanchard becomes the first woman to hold the championship.
And then it turns out she's a piece of shit
She had it for 165 days, and then it was vacated
because she was a piece of shit.
on June 25th, 2020. After a period of inactivity during which Blanchard missed multiple tapings due to COVID-19 related travel restrictions.
Nah, it's because she was. a
Her
piece of
contract
shit.
was terminated by Impact Wrestling, and she was stripped of the title.
I thought Dean Ambrose was coming out for a second there.
Back to
Right,
so the main event of All In was the Golden Elite,
which is
Kota
Kota Ibushi and
and
the
the
Bucks.
Ray Phoenix, Rey Mysterio, and Bandito.
Oh, that's right, Bandito. He was the ROH champion.
What a great pay per view that was.
It was. It really
Oh
was.
my
We should go
God.
back and review it. I mean, there's no shit talking available there.
Yeah,
It was great.
it was
I-
wrestling.
I'd have to watch it again because I don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
shit.
It was good. I'm sure there's shit I can talk about it.
Eddie Edwards wins a fatal 5-way elimination match, also involving Ace Austin,
Okay.
Trey, I don't know who that is,
Trey
Yes,
Miguel.
Rich Swann, and Eric Young at Slammiversary after Tessa gave it up.
Was Trey the other North?
This is no.
This
No.
is July 18th, 2020. So this is
Trey Miguel is the other MSK.
MSK.
the one who
Okay.
didn't go.
Yes,
Okay.
the guy that didn't go.
Kind of looks like Ricochet.
Yep. He really
Eric
does.
Yeah.
Young on August 15th, 2020 beats Eddie Edwards. So this is after he leaves WWE.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
back now.
They're called something
by
Violent-
Design?
Violent
yeah.
by design.
Yeah.
That's him and Rhino.
I don't know. It's a bunch of guys.
Who
Yeah.
else is it? Is it Crazy Steve? Is he there again?
Maybe.
Yeah.
He has it for 70 days and loses it to Rich Swann.
Also a scumbag.
No, I think he got. I
Was
don't
he
know.
cleared?
I don't know.
Yeah, he got fired from WWE because he smacked his girlfriend around or his wife. or something.
Allegations.
And then
But I don't know.
whether he did or not, I don't know. All right. So at Sacrifice on March 13th, 2021, Swan defeated Moose to unify the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, which was officially sanctioned as a separate title
Was Swan defeated Moose?
with the Impact World Championship.
Oh,
So this is when one had the TNA,
yeah,
one had the Impact.
Yes.
yeah. They're back to calling it TNA because they lose the name.
So
Yeah,
two
TNA
world
title,
champions.
it's almost like big gold.
It's
and all
yeah,
that.
exactly. It's almost like a lineage belt now.
The TNA title was then deactivated,
Mhm.
while the Impact title became briefly known as the Impact Unified World Championship. Well, they love their long ass names,
Yeah.
don't they?
This
Before
is like a
reverting,
fucking Fall Out Boy song.
before reverting back to the Impact World Championship, Swan would carry both belts. Okay,
TNA has always been a shit
did
show.
you get all that?
But that's not it.
Oh no, we're not done
Okay,
yet.
I was gonna say.
Kenny Omega,
Oh, that's right. I
That's
forgot
right.
about that.
Yeah, I
April
forgot.
25th, 2021, beat Rich Swann.
I forgot he was. Yeah.
Mhm.
So now he's technically the AEW TNA Impact World Champion.
I think he
Triple
also has the
A.
AAA. Yeah, yeah.
He had like 5 belts.
An IWGP, wasn't he, or something? No.
No,
He had it for 110 days, lost it to Christian Cage.
Tell you what, this most recent Kenny though, the heel, I enjoyed.
I
that.
do remember now. Now that you're
yeah,
saying
that was
it,
on
it brings
either
back the
Dynamite or a pay-per-view that he
No,
lost
it
to
was, on,
Christian.
it was on TNA.
AEW Rampage, it
Oh,
says,
really?
in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
It says, upon winning the belt, Cage retired the TNA World Championship,
Yeah.
leaving the Leaving the championship once again represented by a single belt.
Yeah, I really enjoyed
They should write a
the heel
book
Kenny.
about this
with
shit.
And we have one more belt. One more champion, right?
Two.
Oh, two. Who
Christian lost it to Josh Alexander,
won? Oh, I forgot. Josh.
That's
That's the
right.
other North.
From the North.
who cashed in his X Division championship for a title shot.
Who is no longer part of Impact.
Well, I'm sure they'll figure it out. So
Josh
he
Alexander
is-
lost it the same night to Moose.
Yeah,
Moose cashed in his Call Your Shot.
Yeah.
Champion, which
Money
I
in
guess
the
is their
Bank.
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank, Feast or Fired. It's the same
So
shit.
he's had it for over 128 days. Had it since
Yeah, he is
October
the
of
current
2021.
champion.
Yeah. Josh Alexander, he needed a visa.
Yeah, so he's Canadian.
I don't know who that
it's
is.
Just a. It's
He
just
wears
a,
earmuffs.
Yeah, he was the other guy in the North.
White
Ethan
guy?
Page. Yeah.
Black
Yeah.
guy? I'm trying to picture him. Sorry.
He bald.
White
He
bald,
wears a singlet. He was with Ethan Page in the North, and Ethan Page went to AEW, and I think they kind of just were like, okay, well, Josh Alexander's good too.
Yeah, he wears headgear like Rick Steiner
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
to.
Oh, okay.
I think he actually has like a hearing problem though. I think that's why.
Yeah, that's why he said just
Yeah.
something damaged his ear a long time ago.
It's not a hearing problem. It's probably
Oh,
busted
damn.
eardrum.
Yeah.
Cauliflower ear or something like
yeah, probably.
But
But
TNA.
So
So it says, but I thought didn't Matt Cardona win the belt from
Macarona won NWA.
No, he won the media.
Yeah, he's the media champion. So
I know
This
digital,
is
digital media
Impact.
championship. Yeah, he's
According
the,
to this,
yeah, he's
Moose
the,
is still the champ.
Yeah.
he's the
Okay.
digital media champion.
I know he's a digital, but I thought he had beat Moose for the
No.
belt too or something.
Kurt
they're not
Angle-
gonna-
Or
they're
you
not letting-
wrestled him. I
They're
guess,
not letting
or-
anybody beat Moose right now.
Yeah.
Moose is hot.
Moose is the Roman of that.
Yeah, he's good. He's not.
Or maybe he
terrible, I
wrestled
should say.
Josh Alexander and lost him or something.
Maybe.
I could have swore he wrestled at least for the
There
belt.
was like during the time of like when Josh Alexander was hot, there was so much going on. It was
We're
like
we're really getting back into a territory type day where people are just, besides WWE and even WWE is just dipping a toe in with the whole Mickey James thing, letting people that are other companies' champions be featured on your show. Because what does that say for WWE? Yeah, I'm a champion over here, but I want to come to your company and win the Royal Rumble. You know, I want to come to your company. That only looks good for WWE. Why would they not let that? Moose, I'm the Impact World Heavyweight
Unified.
Global, everybody loves me championship. Why not let him come in? Sure, you get to say on TV, this guy is a champion in another company, but he sees more value in our company.
Which is what I've always said, you know, like
why shut the door?
And-
No pun intended. As it was coming out of my mouth, I fucking hate the word doors now.
and that also opens up like let's say Moose.
I don't even like the word open anymore. I'm fucking tired. of it.
Let's say Moose would go for a Royal Rumble match or something as the Impact champion. If his contract expires a year from then,
Yeah.
that would he would see what it's like and then be interested.
And also, your fan, the story is out there, the famous story of Vince telling AJ, don't be surprised, nobody knows who you are. Well, if you feature this person on your TV once or twice, and he does eventually sign with you, guess what? He's been seen on your TV. You can make that recall.
And I like that because I remember back when I was younger, they used to shit on other companies
Mhm.
if they even acknowledged them. And then back in the 80s, if anybody from another company showed up, Hogan would have squashed him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Look what Triple H did to Taz.
Yeah.
Because in Vince's, we're here, everyone else is here.
And that's fine.
Your
You can
guys
hold
can't
yourself
compete with
back.
my guys.
But that's the wrong way to
Yeah.
look at it.
But
Look
like-
at it as all of your guys in AEW, in TNA, in New Japan, in AAA, you all want to come to my company. So if I put you on one of my shows, I get to say you've traveled the world as a champion, and now you want to come to where the best are in WWE. It's that fucking simple.
Yeah, but
man.
I'm glad that when Mickey came, that they didn't do that to her. Like, oh, she's not as good as my star, so she's gonna
Yeah.
get chucked out right away.
Well, they didn't even put the right name of the belt.
What did they put?
Well, that wouldn't all fit on the screen. Impact TNA
It was-
Global
Yeah.
It's
Unified Women's
It's
Champion.
Impact.
Maybe they just didn't know what the fucking title was called anymore.
I think it was Impact
They changed
Knockouts.
it 6 times.
Impact Knockouts champion, and they put Impact Women's Wrestling World Champion.
Well, because
or
they're not
something.
going to put knockouts. They don't know what the fuck that means.
And they're trying to get away from that divas.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Maybe
knockouts.
that's why, yeah, in their eyes, they don't
TNA
like
still calls it knockouts. Really?
I think so.
That's terrible.
Wasn't she also the NWA Women's Champion too, or whatever? Mickey
No,
James?
I don't think. No, she
No?
didn't wrestle for NWA.
Oh.
I don't think.
Look,
No,
she's
she-
that
no, I-
NWA
I-
power. She had
No,
like a whole.
I think the women's single championship is the Impact Women's Championship. I think the tag team titles are still called knockouts.
Oh, is she a tag champion? No, she's the world. She's the women's
She's-
champion.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like I think in Impact, I think the single women's title is
Neither
just
of them
called
should
the
be called
Impact.
knockouts.
Well, by next week it'll have a different name.
yeah.
On the belt it says "to be continued," and the guy behind her has the rest of it. So, this, according to this, Kurt Angle is 6-time champion. So list everybody like how
Mhm.
there's no Jeff Jarrett.
Hmm.
Kurt Angle for 6, and then Lashley 4, Aries 3, Rude 2. No Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, he was never TNA champ.
But that doesn't. I mean,
Well, Kurt was TNA,
Kurt was never.
but he wasn't Impact.
I wonder, and that's just a random thing to look up. Then, if anybody was ever all of them,
Hmm.
Well, how do we
it's
know?
not.
Sting probably.
What
Oh no, not Impact.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. NWA
TNA,
and
Impact,
No.
Global, Unified.
Kurt was Kurt Impact.
No,
Aries? No, he wasn't NWA. I don't.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went in a
So it
different
seems
direction.
like Impact was more. We're past all the old WWE guys.
Well, that's not necessarily true though, because they went with Lashley and Gallows.
Oh yeah,
So they
I'm
went
thinking
from
like Edwards and
they
those
went
kind of guys.
from okay, we're using a
Well-
bunch of X guys to now we're going to feature our stars, then back to X guys, now back to we're featuring our stars. They
'Cause-
kind of go in a
So
you know
when
think about it.
TNA debuted, it was a lot of the guys we know that were NWA and whatever that eventually became TNA guys. And then in that Bischoff era, you had Angle, Sting, Taz. I think you had
Taz was
like,
never champion.
no.
Oh.
I mean just in general in
Yeah.
the company.
Jeff Hardy,
It was like all those old guys, Kevin Nash and
yeah,
Like-
Scott Steiner, all
Yeah.
them.
Booker T.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then it became AJ's show. That's
Well,
when Sabin and
unfortunately though, that's not true. AJ got the belt early.
yeah.
And he was kind of in the mix. He beat all the legends that came in. He was never allowed. Like AJ Styles versus Chris Sabin would have been great.
But,
AJ Styles versus Austin Aries would have been great.
But I'm
But we didn't
saying
get
like back then you knew TNA as Kurt Angle, Sting,
Mhm.
and then it was TNA's where AJ Styles and Samoa
Mhm.
Joe are, and I don't
But
mean belts.
they
just
should
in
have-
general.
use those guys to get
Yeah.
AJ and Samoa and Abyss over instead
Like
of
how
burying
they
him.
used. And okay, so yes, let's equate it to AEW. Yes, Kenny Omega is technically new, but most wrestling fans know that he has been around the block a few times,
Yeah.
so to say. So using Chris Jericho to get over Kenny Omega was fucking pointless. But using Kenny Omega to get over Hangman, that works. You could have used Jericho to get over Hangman too, because that was the first match, right? The first
That
belt
first-
match.
Yeah.
yeah,
They were the
Jericho
ones.
won, yeah.
I think that's
Hangman from
when,
the start.
but I think that's when fans started to realize, Hangman is good.
Remember, Jericho went to
But again-
Moxley, so
Mhm.
went to another WWE guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It went until Omega, which you could just say he's a New Japan guy.
But if you're
But
If you're
much
a
like the
casual fan,
TNA,
you never heard of him till
name
AEW.
Name
Mhm.
But-
recognition.
Paige,
Unfortunately,
Hangman. I say I'll say Hangman because too many people have the same last
Page,
name.
Cage,
Yeah.
Rage. I don't know.
So Hangman is the first, what I would call AEW original. Yes, he was in ROH and New Japan and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
he never was a champion there.
yeah, he's like
Kenny
the
had
first
held
homegrown.
World titles everywhere else.
yeah.
So Paige is the first guy that really is their champion.
Mhm.
Their
And he's
guy.
about to lose it to the NXT champion.
I don't know.
I don't know either. We'll
I
see.
think-
Fuck
I
it.
think-
I don't know.
I
What time
think
is it? Are we missing?
it's
are we missing
just
Impact?
about
Am I getting
time
my
for
Impact?
Dynamite.
Fuck.
so.
We miss Impact every week.
So we went from this prestigious belt, the NWA belt, to talking about the shit show that was TNA and Impact or
Just
whatever.
because the belt names, let's talk about that though. Let's not just shit on it. Like, okay,
It went
it's a nothing
everywhere.
belt. But the people that touch the belt,
Yeah.
for the most part, it elevated their game.
Yes.
You talk about the crazy like different names, but it was Austin Aries, it was Lashley, Gallows,
Mhm.
guys
Eddie
that
Edwards,
EC3.
And
Wait,
some
did
other
EC3 hold it?
company.
Did we even talk about EC3?
Yeah.
Did he
Yeah,
hold it?
yeah.
I missed it. It's so much turnaround.
so much. See, it's confusing.
And other companies, mainly like WWE, they would have never been more than maybe an Intercontinental Champion
Yeah.
if they were lucky.
I think what hurt them was at this point, like we said, this company is dying, and they're just trying to find that one champ, that one spark that's gonna get them.
Well,
I personally think Moose can be it. I think wrestling has now shifted. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is the way I see it. Wrestling is now shifting that people are like, okay, WWE isn't the end all be all. Maybe for kids it is. For children, WWE is on the same channel every week at the same time, and this is how we watch it, and that's what we do. And we have the
It's
network.
bright colors,
Exactly. And the
colorful
production is
characters.
amazing.
Mhm.
They have the camera angles and everything's fun. But
And
for
I
wrestling
know Roman.
fans-
He's on every week. I
Yeah,
know Roman.
for
Yeah.
wrestling fans, I think we now have so many options. We talk about Game Changer and NWA if that's what you're into. Personally, I can't watch it. That's just me. We have MLW. We have ROH. Possibly there's rumors of what's going to happen tonight or this weekend or whatever. No, we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to let it be. We're not going to fucking touch on that shit.
But besides all that, as you know, everywhere you go, there's 100 indie companies in every state. Everywhere you go,
I think the main problem with Impact now, they have the talent. It's just they're on a channel that not many people.
And that's what I was just
But
going to say.
who watches television?
Well, and that was the
You
other
don't
thing.
even have television.
But it's not even on streaming
I don't have
services.
cable. Yeah.
But you can watch it on YouTube. You can find the stuff out there.
Well, and that was the other thing I was going to say. Like AEW has 2 shows that are YouTube shows. Like, so Impact could do like an exclusive show just for YouTube.
Well, let's see what happens tonight.
But
Get
this
eyes
weekend.
on
The
their
problem-
product.
Let's just say you're 5 years old. You've only been watching WWE. You're flipping through the channels, and you see Impact, and you watch a couple matches. Who are you gonna know?
See, I mean, I can only speak to myself. And
For
when
us,
I
we
was
was like,
a
oh,
kid-
Moose is cool. I like him. But if you're a kid, you're like, I don't know who these people are.
But when I was a kid, I didn't know who Sting was. I grew up on my dad's 80s VHSs.
And you probably saw a lot of WWE before
Yeah.
you saw WCW.
But when I finally fell on WCW, which was before the Hogan era, I didn't know who any of those guys were, but it intrigued me. So I feel as a kid, you're like, oh, these are new. This is the new thing. What is this? To me, that's what WCW was. I have seen Hogan in a billion matches on these VHS.
All the same.
And yeah, every match was the same, and I've seen it all. Now I've got this cool guy. He's got bleach blonde hair. He's wearing bright pink and black, and he screams at the crowd.
Wrestles a completely different style than Hogan.
Holy shit, this guy is cool. This guy is like what you want to be.
And it comes back to also like you should do like with JJ. Don't be afraid to sit him down and say, okay, you're not going to know any of these guys, but just watch.
Oh, he does.
And he might pick out a guy that like he likes, like, oh, I really
Mhm.
like that guy, Daddy. You know. what
But I
mean?
will
Like,
say, as a young adult or older adult, if you're into it still, the best place if you want to be that guy that's like, I knew that guy when, go to fucking indie shows.
yeah.
How
Yeah.
many guys do I tell you about? And in 5 years, you guys are seeing them on Impact. or-
Gargano, Ace
Yeah.
Austin.
I Gargano's my favorite one that I like to go back to. What are we at, like 7 or 8 years now that I put a Facebook message out there saying this guy is amazing and he's going to be a star soon. And here we are, and he's one of the most talked about wrestlers. The moment he loses a contract, or well, not loses, but doesn't sign a new contract, I guess I should say, everybody's like, oh, where's he going? Where's the next place I can see him? You know?
And now more than ever is a time for wrestling fans. Like
There-
Dustin was saying, there's so much out there.
and it's so easy to find. You don't need you can just type it in.
I was watching MLW
Yeah.
on YouTube.
You can just watch it.
So it's
And
10 years ago.
I remember we were on vacation. And
MLW
was on TV.
I introduced you technically to MJF.
I think we were just flipping. And it was
Yeah.
like, oh, look, wrestling.
It was I had just got a Fire Stick, and it was like American Wrestling or something like that. Or no, it was MLW. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was MLW.
And it had different apps for the Fire Stick, and I was pacing through, seeing what all was there, and we got to MLW.
It was like Davy Boy.
what is this stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just left it on and we were like, oh, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago, it was WWE and Impact for the most part.
Yeah.
Now you have 6, 7 promotions that are widely known.
There's so much streaming out there, and now with the potential, I mean, well, it's guaranteed, right? This was announced. This isn't a rumor. The AEW partnership with HBO
It's
Max.
still rumors.
No,
He's
It
going to
might
make
be- it
the
might be
announcement tonight.
no.
made
That's
tonight.
so we don't know what Tony Khan's announcement is.
They're saying that's what the
That-
announcement is.
but that is official. That is from HBO. They don't give
Oh.
a fuck about rumors on a fucking TV show.
Oh, did
They're not a
HBO
wrestling
put it out?
business.
Yeah,
Okay.
HBO is announcing that this is happening. HBO is a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing about AEW and WWE. WWE has to kind of put out what they're doing. They can't hide the shit because they have stockholders.
They answer to people.
AEW doesn't, but HBO does. So when the deal is final, they have to put it out
And
there.
I'll tell you, I don't know what this announcement is, but if it's a streaming service like a library, I'll get it.
It supposedly, see, that's what we don't know.
Yeah.
We know there is a partnership with HBO. We do not know what that partnership entails.
I've heard different things
Is it
saying
gonna
that they have
be
ROH.
like Peacock?
And
Is it going to be Peacock where they're streaming the pay-per-views, which would be awesome because every time there's a pay-per-view, we're going to do it this Sunday. We struggle to figure out how to log into shit and buy shit and get it
It'll
to
be
actually
cheaper.
work. We're literally until I mean, cheaper, yes, but until the actual pay-per-view starts, we're literally holding our breaths like, is this shit going to work? Like, we never know.
We always miss the
Call-in, buy-in,
Buy-in.
whatever the fuck it's
Match, yeah.
called.
And yeah, because from the thing that I think was it you or you said something about
both said
like
We were literally in the group chat. He sent it a second before I was literally pressing the button to add a picture while his sent. I was like, motherfucker.
okay, because I know it said something about like they're partnering with AEW and having some kind of like international. I thought like maybe New Japan because
So,
they work with New Japan.
All we know, but that could just mean that
like as far as
HBO
video library.
Well, but so the video library is the rumor. We don't know what is being part of it. But the international deal is that HBO will now be able to
give AEW over
stream, exactly.
season. That
So-
makes sense then, yeah.
So now it's not on. If you're in America, you watch it on Bleacher, and if you're in Canada or Mexico, you watch it on Fight. Like now they can bring it all
Sky
to one.
Sports. all
Yeah,
that
you can
shit,
bring it all
yeah.
to one service and figure it out
That-
from there.
and
like
that's
Peacock.
a
Peacock
smart-
is wherever you live in the
Yes,
world, you watch
Peacock
in
is-
Peacock.
Well, no, that's
As
not
long
true.
as they get Peacock. 'cause
Oh,
there's
they have
some
the
countries that
network.
don't.
It's still the network over in
in
yeah.
Canada, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
so, breaking news as I'm scrolling
Oh
through
God.
Instagram. No, not relating to the
What?
announcement. As of April 1st, this could just be an April Fool's joke, whatever.
It's not. But
All Ego, Ethan Page, will be relocating to the USA.
he doesn't live here now.
Officially traveling out of Detroit Airport, Ethan Page would like to thank all the fans for this report, which has helped get All Ego to this exciting point in his life and career. And then he has his booking information.
Did you just call that breaking news? That Ethan
It says
Page's
breaking
moving-
news.
Is
I thought he lived in America.
Is he
breaking
Canadian?
news from who? From Ethan Page's Instagram?
Yeah.
That's not breaking
Well,
news.
yeah.
He's just moving.
Is he Canadian?
Yeah, they
Ontario, yeah. So
They wrestled for a team called the North. God damn it!
So yeah,
Moosey
I guess he's
slapped
getting
the
his
shit out
visa.
of him.
I guess he's getting his visa or officially moving, I guess.
Citizenship.
Yeah.
But
Visa would mean that he's not moved. He's just temporarily
visas.
here.
Yeah.
He's
getting
getting
citizenship.
citizenship or got citizenship.
and back to the local wrestling.
I didn't put
and
that
stuff
together.
like that.
The North and
It's a great night out too and it's cheap half the time.
For what?
Maybe $20 a
Oh,
local
wrestling.
wrestling event.
Oh, of course.
You know, so-
Outbreak Wrestling.
Yeah,
20,
if you're from the-
$25.
One of ours, yeah.
If you're in the Northeast, come out to Outbreak Wrestling. I will not be there, but you guys will be.
New Jersey, Saturday. This Saturday, March 5th in New Jersey at the Monster Factory.
Shit, what's it called?
The night the bridge was crossed.
Nope, the fucking town that you're in. God damn it.
Paulsboro.
Paulsboro.
New
I knew it
Jersey.
wasn't Poughkeepsie.
Never heard of it.
Poughkeepsie is New York.
It's in the middle of New Jersey.
Outbreak Wrestling is one that I mean, Ace Austin is known to be at Outbreak a lot, and he's in Impact. You know, you never know who is going to be that.
Never know who's going to
star.
show up. Ace Austin is from where? New Jersey. Just saying.
And the nice thing too is with the local wrestling, like for little kids, the guys love meeting fans.
They're
So, which is
fan-oriented.
nice for kids because they get to meet wrestlers. You know, like you
I used
usually
to
go
love
to
it.
WWE or something. You don't usually get to meet guys. You know what I mean? So
Well, you do
I remember-
pay for it.
I remember
Not
pissing
always.
next to Glenn Osborne and at Skate Away.
Did you try to sell
It
your
was
drugs?
amazing. No, what? Glenn Osborne?
Yeah.
Glenn Osborne sold drugs? I don't think so.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the other guy, Snuka's guy.
Oh, Metal
Oh
Maniac.
yeah, that guy. Yeah.
No, that guy didn't sell drugs. He did drugs.
Um,
I mean, me, I don't know.
So the NWA obviously has a lot to cover.
Oh,
A lot. It's like a spider web effect.
We're
It's
never
just-
ever doing territories. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Look at how complicated this was, and this is one fucking company.
And
We're
then-
not doing
So
territories.
this was NWA and TNA merger, I guess you want to say, leading into what is now known as Impact, and it was a clusterfuck at the end.
Yeah.
So, but
This
the
is-
NWA obviously has a lot of lineage to it, a
It
lot
does.
of vintage and honorary guys that you've heard of. Flair, Dusty, and currently Matt Cardona. So the NWA, I don't want to say is never going to die, but you're always going to know.
Oh no, it's never going to die.
Is
You
it-
can say that. It's
yeah.
never going to die. It will have its peaks and valleys. It goes up, it goes down. I think
It's just always going to be one of the most talked about lineage.
I think
Like-
the problem now is that they're trying to be modern mixed with old school.
Yeah, NWA Power still has that
So you're-
vintage feel, but
yeah,
it's trying to
We
be.
want to be old school, but you have to figure out how to watch it on YouTube or a streaming service, which people who like old wrestling don't know how to use. There's a guy at work who loves old school wrestling. He knows everything about it. He is a great guy, but he has no idea how to fucking watch it because he doesn't know how any of that works.
and
My dad, when we had a huge windstorm and the cable was out for like a day and a half, trying to give my dad a fucking fire stick to use was insane. And my dad's not that old, all right? It's not that hard to comprehend, and he doesn't understand if you can't scroll through a channel to find something. I don't know how to work TV. It was the worst.
Oh,
and the thing with the
do you want the
NWA
spoiler?
Of what?
The announcement.
Okay, sure. Because this will come out on Friday. So.
Yeah. So
Tony is now
Shavante?
Tony Khan is now the owner of ROH.
We had a feeling that was happening,
yeah.
which is good. That's great. I like that.
he
There's
bought,
a lot of guys there
he
that
bought
I
a dead company.
It's reviving.
Oh, you think
And
Jeff
the thing-
Jarrett?
and what's his name? Jonathan Gresham is in the crowd tonight.
Oh, okay.
That was the other thing I had heard.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of great.
So that would make
wrestlers.
sense. That
We
he
just
says
talked
that
about
on buying.
Bandito. Was on first All In. Tremendous wrestler. I'd love to see him start tagging with Lucha Bros.
Think about the AEW and ROH officially partnering.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And
potential there.
Impact. They work with Impact too. So imagine all
No,
three.
I don't think they're working. with
And
Impact.
I mean, what 2 of the 5, and probably 2 more because Briscoes will most likely show up at some point. 2 of the 5 ROH Hall of Famers work for Impact.
Briscoes were trying to get somebody's attention. Who was it?
Everybody.
I thought FTR.
FTR. So there you
Bucks.
go.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But Briscoes aren't the Briscoes of old. I still like them. They still cut amazing promos.
Tony
But they are
Khan,
not-
Ring of Honor.
They are not being hung by Jimmy Jacobs upside down, bleeding and just pouring blood. That was Jay. Pouring blood, or no, actually that was Mark. Sorry. Pouring blood
So-
onto Jimmy Jacobs.
I just really hope
That's another team though that I have told you guys about, and you guys don't really get what the Briscoes are proud. I don't think any of you have really seen
I've never
what
seen
the
I've
Briscoes
seen-
bring to the table. If this is going to happen, you're going to see some shit.
I just really hope this isn't an invasion type.
Oh, they're going to. Of course they're going. to.
Yeah, oh yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
That's
I
how
now
you book
own
wrestling.
ECW or WCW, whatever.
I'm telling you though. Hey, All In. That was an ROH pay per view, right?
Mhm.
But booked by who?
Cody.
By Cody Rhodes, who technically doesn't have a contract with AEW and is supposed to be going to WWE.
I've heard a lot of rumors saying him and Cage are going to be in a
That
group.
shit that shit that I wrote in the group chat, which we won't talk about on here, but it'll probably fucking happen. That was off the top of my head. I literally was just thinking because I play that booking game,
But I did
and
see.
I think about like how I can book some fun things. So I saw it as there's a bunch of guys right now who either were there as day one or were not big names. So like Brian Cage was a big name until this next guy came, and then you were nothing to us.
And I actually saw people saying those are the rumors. Like Cody is going to be
Marco Stunt.
with Brian Cage and these
There's
guys
a bunch
that
of the guys that
pushed
they're
aside.
picked.
Put Marco Stunt and Brian Cage together and have them feud with Lucha.
I mean-
what are they called? Jurassic Express.
I mean,
Marco Stunt's like, oh, you guys got too big for your britches
But
and
it-
left me behind and didn't care about me anymore. So I went and found a bigger dinosaur.
And Cage could throw him like a lawn dart.
Yeah.
Cage shits him.
Yeah,
Um,
that would be
but
actually
I think
a really cool tag
Like
team.
be their finisher. Just like throw
It would be like Big Show and Spike
Picks 'em
Dudley.
up.
I think though Marco Stunt is actually. I think they're just letting it go.
I don't know. What about
Um,
Jared's favorite tag team? Hybrid something?
Oh, 2.0 with
Listen,
Jack Evans
Listen, they say that because of their bright colors. And
and what's it, Angelico, whatever?
And Helico.
Yeah.
There's another guy that was released that people might not know about, Chavo.
Yeah, that
secretly,
was again.
quietly, I want to
Chavo
say.
could be the mouthpiece for Cody.
Well, because Chavo went away to do a movie or something.
He went away to do Young Rock.
Smoking mirrors.
He left. He had Tony's permission to leave for 2 weeks and go do
And told him
some
that- and
Young
supposedly
Rock.
Told
And then-
him that his job was held.
Yeah,
But what are they going to do with it? They weren't doing anything with him.
No,
He brought
they
him in
weren't,
for
but that's the
Andrade.
point.
but he
that's
could
the
be
point.
backstage.
Yeah.
That's the point. Now you can say you didn't use Christian Cage could turn on Lucha Express.
Express.
Express. Fucking shit.
He's combining teams.
Well, you got
Uh,
Lucha Bros and Luchasaurus. All right.
so-
It's fucking.
So hopefully we didn't confuse everybody too much with all this NWA, TNA, Impact.
I was the
Global,
one
whatever.
reading it and I was confused.
Support indie wrestling.
So on air, it is Women's History Month.
Cool.
So we are. Do you want to stick with lineage and do the WWE Women's Championship, the solo belt from Wendy Richter bullshit,
Moolah all the way.
yeah, all the way up to today,
Yeah,
Divas?
I'm cool with that.
including Divas. Oh my gosh, it's in that
Yeah.
almanac. We got an almanac. It's amazing. We're cool now. It's from last year, but still, I
It's
mean,
up to date.
Um,
It's amazing.
So support local wrestling. It's always a fun time just to hang out. You never know who you're going to see there.
whoa,
March 5th.
smoking mirrors.
March 5th, which is this Saturday in Paulsboro, New Jersey, Outbreak Wrestling is collaborating with Atlantic All-Star Wrestling.
World Championship Wrestling.
It'll be a great show. We'll be there, of course.
Title matches all around.
Yeah. April 27th, AEW in Philadelphia once
Oh, yeah.
again.
What did you just see? Oh.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
AEW in Philadelphia, PA, once again. We're going. We're gonna have a great time. April 30th, Outbreak Wrestling is autism awareness event for that. I'll have a special surprise for that. And then obviously Legends of Hamburg convention
In July.
in July,
23rd?
July 23rd, followed by some great wrestling. Of course, by Outbreak and Quarantine, Outbreak Quarantine crew.
Icons is also coming up. We
Yeah.
are not going to be a part of it this time, but it seems like
It's a
great.
stacked
Yeah,
stacked
They have
lineup.
a lot of stuff going on.
A
for
lot of
that.
tag teams. So
I
if
was
you,
going to say Pride and Prejudice, Pride and Powerful.
oh god,
God damn.
Santana Ortiz,
Yeah.
LAX,
Fuck
Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, the Outlaws,
Ass Boys.
the Ass Boys.
Not
Mr.
Road Dogg,
Ass.
but
Billy
the-
Ass. Yes.
the-
Bill
Gunn,
Ass.
Bill Gunn Ass.
The Hardy Boys. Who's the other? Oh, Private Party.
Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimo Dragon and
Berserker.
Berserker.
Huss.
It is one that Justin.
Come on, you gotta do it.
Huss.
Uh,
Oh no, put on there.
It is-
My love for you is like a cock berserker.
This Icons is an event that I'm surprised Justin is not attending because it's
Who is Bull Nakano is going to be there?
Tony Storm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's and Juice
Coco Beware.
Robinson.
Coco Beware is
Oh,
going to be
I
there.
thought when you said Jews, I actually thought you meant Hoovy.
Coco Beware.
Coco
Yeah.
Beware, who I met
Yeah.
before.
You're okay.
No, I'm just surprised.
That's who he's popping
Coco
for.
No.
Beware.
I'm
Hall of Famer.
surprised. I know Coco, but I'm surprised.
know him?
No, not know him, but
It's actually Virgil, same guy.
No, Coco was way more over.
I hope he doesn't
Bird
have
was
his
over.
balls hanging out.
I'd, I'd go if Virgil was
But listen, support local wrestling, independent wrestling. With the news of Tony buying ROH, there's going to be some great wrestling coming from all sides. Again, more dream matches.
Maybe
Potentially.
Cody's group will have Gargano and Cesaro in it.
Cash
No,
or
because
something.
that would be if my prediction were be true, it would go against what Cody was doing.
Yeah. So
Because it wouldn't be the misused WWE guys, it would be the misused AEW because we brought in WWE stars.
we have a great weekend this week of wrestling. March
do?
5th Outbreak, March 6th
You do.
AEW Revolution.
Revolution, yes. Remind me of that Sunday morning because I would forget.
It sucks that it's a Sunday, but you know
whatever.
it's always a great time. So enjoy wrestling. Like what you like, watch what you watch. Get out and enjoy some independent wrestling. We'll see you next week.
And stand with Ukraine.
Yeah, they're fighting their asses off. I tell you.